getting you fired. I mean, there isn't a Teresa. I think we're in this mess because they gave Teresa too much power. And now we have her not speaking to Melissa. Well, Melissa's tied to her. They clearly don't want to if they wanted to truly get rid of Melissa Gorga, they would have done it. This was the season. Yes, we have a lot of unanswered questions. That doesn't mean she can't get rid of in the future, but they obviously don't want to. You said right away, you couldn't believe it from an outsider's being, not outsider, but like a little bit less removed. I got too into the weeds, and you're like, and you're right. Like in retrospect, they don't want to get rid of her. They would have gotten rid of her. Now is the time when the star of the show, which I'm sure says, I will never speak to you again, and still isn't speaking to these people. I mean, how weird is this? I spoke to an RHONJ the other day, and she said to me, I mean, this is just so fucking weird. Like someone filming right now who's like, this is just so fucking weird. Like, I don't know. She said to me, I don't know what's going on. She's like, this group is not speaking to that group. I don't know. I have no idea. There's no story that we see forming at this point. Yeah, I don't know how that's all going to play out. How is that going to be edited? Yes, Sarah, they will find a way. We have New York that had somebody.
They always do.
Lizzie Savetsky, I think Sai told me in our interview, she was very early on. She was, out the door, but they still had to do something with the edits when you're standing in a seat. They figure it out.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
I'm so sorry to talk so much today.
No. Well, we have a lot of other topics I want to get to in the Bravo.
Okay.
Well, I want to know what you think. I mean, I always say LA Times is doing amazing. They do the best entertainment journalism, I think. Now, they did a whole story the other day on Tom Girardi showing up to court, and he has been ruled so far to be mentally competent, even after showing up to court in his slippers. Honey, this is not good. He is going to, I think he is going to stand trial, or they are going to have to do one heck of a settlement, because he has been ruled fit to hear his own trial. So what do you make of this? And the argument is by the judge, and it sounds like by the DA, and, whether people that have had analysis, they claim that he is able to track conversations, which if he truly had Alzheimer's, he would not be able to do.
And what do you mean? Like he's there, he is in the shorts and all, I mean, the slippers, but what, did you see him going into the courtroom? They were like, do you feel bad or whatever? He's not answering any of the questions. The lawyer, you have these shark lawyers that are like, please back up, leave my comment alone. This lawyer seems to be taking on a different approach. She looked more scared than Tom did, this lawyer. Did you see her? She didn't know what to do. Honey, you're in LA. It's Tom Girardi. Are you shocked to see all these people outside that want a quote? But what do you mean? He went into the thing and they were able to track his eye movement, or you understand even though you're pretending not to?
Well, over the past several months, there's been, of course, they interview him at different times. He's being evaluated. So they allege things like, he will be at the facility, right? He's at a dementia ward facility where he'll go, oh, where am I? And they claim that he carries around a stack of papers and, thinks that he's working on cases. But then basically he probably forgets that he's faking dementia or whatever. And so they'll be like, oh, did you place an order or something for a coffee? And he's like, no, I wanted that yesterday. But they claim that he's able to track dates and track incidences. When he was first, I guess, all this was coming down that he was disbarred or whatever, he got a phone call from Erica, and they allege in the article, he knew exactly who she was. And he said, oh, hey, honey, are you in Spain? And that was when they were filming something for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, this was a couple of years ago. Now, of course, your dementia and Alzheimer's can advance, but they believe he tracks enough that he sort of is in and
what? They have. Where are these specialists observing him? In his room at the facility?
At the facility.
And so what they say, where are you? And he says, Wednesday. And they say, what year is it? And he says, what year is it? 1984. And they say, who is the president? He says, Ronald Reagan. And then what? They say, do you want a coffee? And he says, oh, I just ordered that yesterday from Starbucks, and my order was a double. And by the way, Starbucks is a new client behind the velvet rope, the new
that's huge.
Apple Crisp. This is the most important client of my life. I love coffee. Okay, sorry. And then what does he say? My order, I listened to Behind the Velvet Rope, and then I got the new apple crisp, and this is what's in it. It's a oat milk macchiato and a oat milk espresso and this, and I got 2 of them. And then they wrote I don't understand. He's not that dumb. Like, how does he go from pretending not to know to what? They just catch some little thing that he says? I guess they're that.
In the article, they claim a neuropsychologist interviewed Girardi over 3 days this year and concluded that he suffered from mild cognitive disorder, but was had partial memory by pretending to have, but was partially malignant, or, oh my God, I'm going to say it wrong. Anyway, the word was kind of faking, pretending to have dementia. She cited as evidence Girardi's ability to follow the conversation. In an April interview of this year, Girardi repeatedly told her that he did not know the answers to questions about the pending charges because he was a civil and not a criminal attorney. When Goldstein continued to press, Girardi said, I'm not a criminal lawyer. I was, as I said 15 times. It shows his tracking ability. He remembered he previously told me, Goldstein testified. The expert told U.S. District Judge Josephine Staten, who is to decide the competency issue. And let me make a correction. So they haven't decided yet, by the way. They haven't decided that they were having the competency hearing. I started this conversation by saying they found him competent. They haven't yet. That during their conversations, Girardi never repeated himself. He never stumbled. He was trafficking perfectly. She acknowledged, however, that he repeatedly asked her during their meetings, why am I here? What's this all about? Girardi is under federal indictment in 2 jurisdictions, LA and Chicago, for allegedly embezzling $18 million from clients in what prosecutors have described as, quote, a decades-long Ponzi scheme. So, look, I'm just saying it doesn't look that good. It looks like he's very much able when pressed to remember the conversation.
Yeah, listen, I'm not kidding around. I think, like, if I wanted to get out of something and I wanted to claim, Alzheimer's, I don't think that's so easy it's whether you're going to trial. They're not just going to bring in a hack from, the back office. They bring in a real team. I don't know how you fake that. I don't know how you fake that when you're truly fine. Being older sure helps because your memory does go the older you get, but I don't know. I mean, this is going to be an interesting one. And, now is Erica home watching all this with just a broken heart? She's, you and I agree that this is the love of her life. I agree with you.
I believe Erica is actually still in touch with him, but I think they probably go to extensive, probably, maybe not.
Now you have, how I tell you off air some of the things going on with Jersey, which I'm going to spill on my Patreon about all the dark webs. And I say Olivia Pope on Scandal. Now you're starting to fall into all the conspiracy theories of what, you think there are burner phones and Erica and Tom are communicating in smoke signals. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's pretty risky.
Would anyone...
I don't think you would jeopardize it at this point. I don't.
No, I think you're right. I don't know though. I bet maybe through her son. Her son's a cop. Cops can know a lot.
Cops can know a lot. But guess what? So this is his life, and she's going to bet on blonde, baby, and I'm going, and you better be coming with me.
Yeah, I want to. I just think they were married for 20 years. Is anyone going to, yeah, people have a lot of hot takes if she was still in contact with him, but would it shock me if she's somehow in contact with him?
You know who's not married for that many years and is never going to be married for that many years, but is still living under the same roof? Mr. Sandoval and Miss
Ariana.
Oh my God, David, wake up. I couldn't remember her name. Maybe I have early onset, God knows what. I hope not. No offense.
Yeah, so
it's a horrible disease.
Okay, we have to talk about that. And
they're living together and what? And then we have to go. Is that what you're saying?
No, I have 8 more questions.